Hey guys, welcome to Lewis Hamilton's episode, aka episode 44. This is Two Girls Chirping. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby.
And today we've got a special little friend coming on to talk Formula One with us.
Yes, this week we are joined by SarahontheGrid, an F1 content creator who is really good at breaking down the basics of F1 in a digestible way, in my opinion.
But
we're super excited. We're going to talk a lot about F1, how similar it is to the NHL, some basics, some resources for new fans.
It's a good day for us because McLaren got a P1 and P2, and then Charles got a P3. So we are fully
repping the podium.
We are repping the podium today.
Yes. So, on to that.
Onwards.
All right, great. Oh, I'm glad that you guys have coffees too and stuff.
Yes.
Over here.
Oh my gosh, we're beverage girls.
We love a beverage.
Oh my goodness. My mom will tell you that I had like drinks all over my house, like just empty cups.
Yes.
Everywhere growing up.
Yes. We're the same.
Yes, for sure. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just finished watching a race and doing my reel. Thank you so much for giving me.
Of course.
Literally, of course.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But no, it got delayed for rain. So I was like,
so long.
So everything's good though. Everything's good. And it was a great race. And somebody was like, well, what do you mean it was a great race? I'm like, oh my goodness, guys.
Oh, we get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was a good race. I don't know. That's my opinion.
We had the sprint yesterday and like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And today we had like, I don't know, like 20 overtakes. Like, a bad race is when we have 0 or, like 2.
Mm-hmm. And they did it in like 40 laps because the first 4 I think were under
3, I believe.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
So like they really got after it.
Yeah, they really did. So it was great. Oh, yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm clearly all energized up from it. How are you guys doing?
We're good. I actually woke up late, so the fact that the race was delayed was perfect.
Oh, nice.
Because by the time I got like breakfast and coffee and everything, it had just actually started.
It was perfect timing. Oh, and I love the shirt you picked for today.
I know. Well, it just worked out wonderful. I've got McLaren and she's got Charles. So together we've got the podium.
Yes.
Oh, yes. That's so nice. I have I have a Hamilton hat somewhere, but I have discovered now if I don't wear it, he does better. So,
hey.
Yeah. I can't wear anything during or before the race. I can only wear stuff after the race because otherwise I curse him.
Yes. Yeah. What is it with this? I feel like I've already gotten
idea.
into the hockey superstition by
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
It's so bad. Also, first and foremost, I love your bookshelves. I love them so much. I'm always like looking and being like, what book is that? And
do you want me to? I mean, I think the zoom ends up blurring it a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm always happy to point out when we moved into this house, I won't show you everything, but there's like a door right here.
Yeah.
So I couldn't put it's only like 3 feet deep here.
I know. Yeah. Not big enough.
It wasn't big enough for anything. And then I was like, I can put bookshelves there. And I designed them and we picked out the wood. My husband built to me that we didn't have all of the tools. And it's like the favorite part of my house. And when people say they like it.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I love it.
I
love, like, in the background of your videos, I hope this doesn't sound creepy. There's like a Vogue picture of Lewis Hamilton up there, the black and white one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh,
I love him. Yes.
I did. I noticed that pretty early on. I was like, I see you.
Yes.
And we've got our Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, we've got him and Mercedes back there.
yes.
Back when he was with Mercedes.
I get like a comment on him on almost every video I do now. I'm like, he's there for a reason.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anti any other drivers, but like
we love Lewis.
I'm not against any of them, but I do have my favorites.
Yes.
yes. And that is so hard to explain to some people because some fans really are like, oh, nobody is as good as my driver. And if anybody overtakes them, they're an asshole and like all of that. So.
Oh, we get flamed still about our it was like our F1 propaganda we are falling for. constantly just, Max is not the greatest, like he sucks, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, but he is special to me.
Yeah.
Okay, that is my Dutch diva, and that's fine.
Yes.
Right, yes. And I think Max is really reminiscent of many of the what we call like the earlier
Yeah.
drivers,
Yes.
like not all those drivers were like clean drivers like Hamilton, but that's something that Hamilton really needed to be to survive in this sport.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not here for any anti-propaganda.
I know. I know.
Yes.
So
So
maybe a
I'm
little anti-stroll, but
I with the Stroll thing, I love him and his dad's dynamic though.
oh,
Like they seem
totally
sweet.
entertaining. Yeah. Oh, he does. And I love that he has this friendship with Okan as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because Okan is kind of one of those and this is not the right word, but the semi-villain, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
doesn't
definitely.
have people rooting for him.
Mhm.
And they can both like speak French with each other. And I feel like they have a real camaraderie with
Yeah.
each
Yes.
other that I love to watch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to watch them just go be by themselves
Yes.
and just be happy with
Just
it.
more of that.
Like
Yes.
those two, I feel like are the ones that people are very controversial about. But I'm like,
Yeah.
Esteban brings a suitcase just with fan mail that he can read when he gets sad. Like, leave him alone. He is just a boy. He keeps every single piece he gets. How can you be mad at him?
Yeah.
Hey, hey,
Sweetie.
I think like as much as we want like, oh, I only want this in a sport,
Yeah.
sports are entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always about like the most fair everything. We have the Olympics for that sort of. So,
Fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
True. So, how did you get into F1?
oh my goodness. So when I was like really little, like I had been into cars for quite a while. My grandmother even bought me like a little toy car when I was 4 years old. Like then they got me my Barbie
Sweet.
Jeep, and I always wanted one of those like little kid, driving cars.
Yes.
Yes.
And I would like go to car shows with my dad. And I cringe now because I think it's so ugly. I had a poster of a Prowler car like on the wall. Like I didn't have boy bands. I had car posters.
Period. As you should.
Yeah.
I really wanted the car in oh gosh, I can't remember it, but I wanted this Stingray Corvette so bad when I was little. Well, when I was like a teenager. And then I started seeing Top Gear. I don't know if you guys know that show.
Yes.
It's like this British car comedy show.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, we've seen it. I mean, I've watched like the Michael Schumacher episode, then like anytime a Formula One driver's on, I've watched those.
Yes.
Yes. And so that's what I really loved. I was like, oh, learning about these drivers and learning about the racing lines, but I still didn't have cable. Um, so I really didn't get into F1 until like sort of like the Netflix era when they were
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
starting to do like streaming and that kind of thing and ESPN streaming. So around the same time that Drive to Survive came out, we had the ESPN and then I think eventually we switched to F1 TV. So maybe, I don't know what, 10 years now been trying to, watch every single race. And of course it started smaller and then well, we're here.
Here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. It happens like that.
It happened so fast.
But I wasn't ever I'm watching this for this driver sort of fan. For me, what was the most interesting part was the strategy involved in
Yes.
all of it, right? It's like a game or a puzzle that you can really participate in, like trying to guess what they're going to do and yell at them for making the wrong calls, that sort of thing. So that's like, once I realized like what all was going on and learned more, it kind of snowballed into something really big.
Yeah. At what point were you like, oh my gosh, I want to start posting about F1?
Oh, okay. So that was just earlier this year. I s- yeah, so I started my account in March. I was at the time I kept calling my friends and like who weren't interested in F1 at all and leaving them long voice notes. Okay, so this is what's going on, and I just have to tell you, and I know you don't care. And my friend was like, Sarah, just start a TikTok. Just start an Instagram. Like, go on and do that. Like, she loves me, but she's like, you need a different audience.
Yeah, you need to find your people.
Right? I need to find my people. And I also noticed that so I love Madeline White. Like I
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I was at home by myself, sick for a whole week, and I came across her account on YouTube, surprisingly. Oh, hello.
Sorry, our
So
cat
sorry.
is
We
doing
thought
all
we
kinds
put him
of
up,
things.
but he's
over
very
there now.
excited to meet you too. I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
No, it's so cute. And I just kind of, and I don't know if you guys remember like pre-streaming, but you would kind of like just binge whatever was on when you're not feeling well.
Yes.
Binged all of her videos, fell in love, and I would just constantly just only go to her videos on TikTok. I'm like, I don't have time for a fourth social media app. But I noticed she was getting a lot of comments of women asking questions about F1.
Mm.
Like what is DRS and how does this work? And I thought to myself, oh, like I could do that. I could answer and help people who are interested in getting into F1. I'm not an engineer. I can't be Sam Collins or Ruth Buscom, but I can take people who aren't quite there yet and bring them a little bit closer.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of what I ended up making my account about. And yeah, here we are.
And you do such a great job
You
of it.
do.
Even, I mean, obviously we know Formula One, but even just watching your videos and watching your explanations, I'm like, yep, that is the easiest way to explain something that
Yeah.
I barely understand.
Yeah.
You do such a great job.
Yeah. Like, I wish that we would have had you when we were getting into F1.
Yes.
Oh,
Because the
Yes.
amount of time that I'm a big YouTube person.
yeah.
So the amount of time that I spent on YouTube trying to figure out what the heck was going on with everything in the cars.
Like the tires
I
and
wish
the
I had
strategies
you.
and
Yes.
everything.
That was me too, because I came from this, liking F1 as an idea to not really knowing everything that was going on. It took so long to, like you said, go and search and hunt and
Yeah.
find the answers. And they're always like super technical and they assume you know a lot more than you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, so what's downforce? And
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yes, I feel like I had a little bit more of the engineering understanding, but still, like, I did a bit of an engineering academy, and we built like a hybrid car for one of our projects and stuff. Anyways,
Very casual flex.
we raced it. We raced it at the Barber Park, actually. Anyways, but like even having like some backing of knowing the engineering behind it, it was so confusing because it's so complex. There's no other series it's like the engineering of F1. It is crazy. But
Yeah.
and that is actually the major complaint of a lot of really older, like dedicated fans, is that they feel like it's gotten too technical. It's become too much about the strategy, about the engineering and technical side. But for me, that's one of the things that makes it really interesting.
yeah,
I know.
that's a fascinating part to me personally too.
Yeah.
Like when they made the sport safer, they transitioned to more of like a technicality side, and that I would rather them be safer and get to learn more
And
than-
live.
yes, than have another spa incident.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think they've made huge leaps and bounds with the safety. And that's one of the reasons why
Yeah.
that the cars got so wide.
Yeah.
They were adding all of these safety features. And so for next year, for 2026, it's the first time ever that F1 cars are getting smaller. So they're not getting smaller by a lot, but by a little bit. And they're going to continue to try that trend to get the cars back to the point where they can go more cars wide and do more overtaking.
Yes.
Yes, especially with more cars being added to the grid.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll get to a small enough point where like Monaco is an actual race as opposed to a rolling. Yeah.
As opposed to a qualifier.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if it's going to happen next year. Everybody's like, yay, it'll be better at Monaco. I'm like, they're getting like one toilet paper wide.
Yeah.
So you had two of those. Like, maybe that's enough room, but
No, I don't think it
Yeah.
will be, but
Yeah.
that's okay. It's historic. It's an easy one. You just listen to it. You don't even have to watch it.
that's right.
So you're in Colorado, correct?
I am, yes.
So you're an Avs fan.
I have been told that, yes.
You've been told
It's a good choice. It's an excellent choice.
How
Did you? I have been told.
How did you get into the NHL? Like, how familiar with the NHL are you?
Not very familiar. So I actually grew up in southern Texas and Louisiana.
Oh,
Okay.
go Tigers.
Yeah. And yeah, go Saints. Like, so it was all football country,
Yes.
which was just not a great interest of mine. I think I did too many years of like marching band with our terrible football team in high school that I was just
That'll do it.
I'm done. Sorry, football fans. Like, it's great. It's just
No, we are not football fans.
Yeah.
We are in the same boat as you. Like, it's just not very interesting.
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't have any exposure to hockey. And again, like I said, I didn't have cable, so there wasn't any of that until I came here to Colorado just a few years ago. And some of my friends, of course, are Avs fans, and they're like, blowing up our like group chats on the weekends and when they're doing, all of their team picks. And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
They're like, we are gonna convert you.
like, this is okay. And one of my friends, she writes hockey articles and she's actually working on a hockey romance book.
Ooh. Let us know when that's released.
Yes.
Well, I think it's coming out this October. I think they're still finalizing their date. So I'll
Perfect.
message you when it does come out.
Okay, please.
But yeah, so from her especially, I've been learning a whole lot. And one of the things that's so interesting to me, now I kind of knew just from trying to watch a few races, like I understand like how it works. I think it's a little bit more straightforward than F1
Mhm.
in terms of, okay, the puck has to go in the goal. Like we understand a little bit.
Yeah.
She's really been educating me on all of that, and I'm still learning kind of like the politics and the players, like all of that
Yes.
side, like because that's a huge part of the fandom, and about how like the rookies, like that is so interesting to me. Like they'll sometimes like go live with
Yeah.
like older players, or they'll like be in these other teams, and then they'll get called up. Like that to me is really fascinating. Like because in F1 you have to have a super license, so you kind of know like oh, only these like three guys are available to move on up. But in hockey, you have so many players. Like it's just
Yeah.
Hundreds of players every year that become eligible. It's crazy.
yeah. And so right now, are you guys going through like the draft process? I feel like I've seen like certain guys get hired or switch teams or something. Like, see, I'm not up on the news.
No, you're good. The draft was a month ago? I don't know.
couple weeks.
Time is an illusion to me right now. It was a few weeks ago. But yeah, right now this is kind of their silly season.
Oh, okay.
There's like 3 different sections of the season that are like their version of a silly season. One was in February where all the free agents get moved around. But right now, yeah, they're finalizing their roster for this coming up season. So there is a lot of moving pieces. It's calmed down a good bit.
Okay.
But
One of the weirdest concepts for me, at least, with Formula One is that when they get drafted, it doesn't, just like you were saying, they don't automatically get
NHL.
to play in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like they will go play on like the AHL teams or like go to college for another year. The only similarity with the rookies to me personally is that they treat it very much like F1 does. Like you will get called up for like one race or like qualifying or one game and then get sent right back down, and they will fluctuate that
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
to give them kind of like training
Okay.
steps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The rookies, in my opinion, is one of the biggest differences between the NHL and F1 for sure. Because also, just because you're drafted doesn't mean that you're going to ever play an NHL game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I feel like they're pretty good about giving a rookie leniency. You do kind of have a season to prove yourself a bit, and then you might go down to the minors. But just because you lose your place on the team doesn't mean that you'll never play an NHL game again. But it could. You could go down to the minors and be great and stay there forever. But it's such an interesting dynamic.
They're not a lot more fluid between
Yes.
the NHL and their lesser or their minor leagues than Formula One is, obviously.
Because in F1, if when Checo lost his seat, he's not gonna go race in F2 or 3. Like
Yeah.
there's no minor league necessarily. Whereas the NHL's got all kinds of affiliates, all kinds of things that you can do.
Yeah, it really does cut off their opportunities. And one of the
Yeah.
things that those types of drivers can do is if you look at a driver like Giovinazzi, he was on Alfa Romeo and he was a rookie. That car was I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but
You can curse.
Yes, please. We do all the time.
so that car was a shitbox. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
Botas was in the car with him. Botas had been number 2 in the championship, and he was like right next to Joe for the whole season. So Joe is now a reserve and test driver, and so he still gets to drive cars, which is something like, you know, hockey rookies can play hockey as long as they can get to an ice rink, even if it's not in a game. F1 drivers, if they don't have a seat, there's no car for them.
Yeah.
So you really kind of want to be, if you can, a reserve driver, and they'll do a lot of sim testing, and they've got amazing sim rigs. And take some of the older cars and do testings on different parts. But that's really your only opportunity to have a car. So Perez has no car to practice in, no car to show anything right now.
Yeah.
I'm really feeling like him and Botas are going to end up at Cadillac. I've been saying it for a while.
That would be perfect.
Bodas or Bottas, I think I say it wrong, but he in my head is for sure going to Cadillac.
Right?
He posted that video of him walking up to a Cadillac and being like, "Oh, it's an empty seat. This is a nice seat."
He's so funny. That's also what makes him such a good reserve driver, is so much of it is also just being able to do good PR, and
Yeah.
he's so good at it, especially after he left Mercedes and got to basically relax a lot. And it was less of like, I'm competing with Lewis Hamilton, one of the greatest to ever do it, but you know, he's just over here with like Joe, just living it up.
Yeah.
And we got to see more of his personality, which I love.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love him so much. And yeah, that was a real struggle for him at Mercedes because he was always wanting to compete. And Mercedes was wanting him to be the number 2 driver because he was great and he was number 2, but he didn't quite have that edge over Hamilton
Yeah.
Yeah.
in terms of performance. And so they wanted him to help Hamilton. And he's like,
It's very similar to McLaren. What they did, especially
Last
with
season.
Oscar.
Yeah, for
and now
sure.
we've seen that swap where Oscar, I mean, he's leading. So now Lando is kind of being forced into like a second driver type role, almost.
I mean, I think a lot of people want to see McLaren make a more definitive choice, the way that Mercedes had before and the way that Red Bull had with their drivers. You know, they were always wanting a number 2 driver for Max. But McLaren doesn't really have any financial incentive to pick a driver. So what they ended up doing is they're having the 2 sides of the garage and the 2 sets of engineers compete with each other now.
Yeah.
And as Fred Vasseur said, I want those teammates to be rivals. And that's the same at like McLaren. Like they benefit the most as when their 2 guys are the most competitive with each other. So, you know, you're making a choice between a driver's championship and a constructor's championship sometimes, but it seems like McLaren's going to win both.
Yeah, it
I
does
know,
seem
they
like they're-
seem to have it in the bag.
Which that was a question. We've got some questions from some of our listeners about F1, and that was one of them. Can you explain like the strategy in F1? They said like you're teammates, but you're also rivals, but you're working together.
Yeah, so it starts when there are 2 championships, one for the team and one for the drivers. And so if you have somebody like Liam Lawson who goes from Red Bull to VCarb, his points stay with him for the drivers championship, but the points that he won for each team, or I don't even know if he got points with Red Bull, but
I don't think he
so.
did.
the hypothetical points,
Hypothetically, if he did.
any points that he got with Red Bull would stay with Red Bull for the constructors championship. And any new points he gets stay with VCarb for their championship. So in that sense, you don't have just one goal. You know, in hockey, you have the one goal, right? You know, is to win the championship all together as a team.
Yeah.
In F1, it's a little bit more like runners in the Olympics. So they're all there for Team USA, but they're each competing for their own medal. So while they might be teammates, and on the same team technically, what that means is they have, the same-ish car. They have access to the same technology. They might have different setups in their car, and they most likely have different driving styles.
Mhm.
So we see that with Max and Yuki. We see that with Charles and Leclerc. You see it pretty much across the board where these drivers are, especially with Hamilton and Leclerc and Oscar and Lando, for like, I think for the sprint, Lando had a very different front wing than Oscar because it suited his driving style better.
Yeah.
And then he ended up changing because he looks over at Oscar and goes, "Oh, that wing was better."
Yeah.
And so in the next qualifying session, they're much closer. So there's always this level of I have to beat my teammate by kind of looking at what my teammate is doing.
Yeah.
So it's like they're technically on the same team, but they are not working together unless it's something like, you really have like Botas and Joe or
Yes.
Hulkenberg and Bortoletto, where there's like a real rookie coming in
Yeah.
and a much older driver. And the older driver, part of their role is to help that rookie driver. They might give them a tow or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They might actually purposely try and help their teammate, but you're not going to find that in McLaren right now.
No.
No.
Close in the points. So if anybody's confused, they're rightfully so because the lines are very murky and it's all down to every single different person and their team.
Yeah. And
One of
after you?
one of my favorite examples of when like Yuki's race, if Yuki's race is over, but Max is battling Lando for first and like Yuki's been lapped, he can maybe slow down Lando a little bit or slow down some of the other cars to give Max a bigger gap to win the race by a higher margin.
Yes, he absolutely can, and that absolutely does happen.
Yes.
And they will ask drivers to do that. They've actually asked Botas, and I think this was in 2021. They used to give an extra point for fastest lap.
Yeah.
Yes.
I miss that.
I do miss that.
Well, one of the reasons why they don't anymore, and Ricardo has done this too, is Mercedes asked Botas because he had clean air, so he had the ability to get a faster lap. So it's like skating across the ice with nobody in front of you versus 5 defensemen or whatever. Like, they said, please don't go for the fastest lap. Don't do it because Hamilton was at this point where he was only going to win by like a 1 point margin. So we ended up losing the championship, and Bottas took that fastest lap, and that could have been a championship changing, decision. So a lot of times they'll ask, but it's up to the drivers whether or not they want to comply. I think we've seen that with Lando too, where they've asked him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that with McLaren.
It just doesn't work. So now McLaren has changed their strategy with choosing a top driver to just telling them race on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send you any help anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which has been more helpful because especially last season, it was just, personally, I felt like it affected their relationship more that not every single race, but most of the races, they were being forced to give up their win for their teammate. I mean, that puts a lot of tension.
Yeah.
And then, we have the radio messages, so we know that they weren't happy to do it and then they didn't want to do it. And then that just feeds into the narrative of them being rivals, which just feeds into the media, which just creates team discord.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I can't say whether or not it was smart for McLaren to do that, but they did end up winning the Constructors' Championship, which meant they got a lot of money.
Yeah.
That helped them develop the car for this year. And I'm sure behind the scenes there were promises made to each driver that we'll never know.
Yes.
Sort of like, oh, you do this now, and then later
Mm-hmm.
we'll make so and so help you, and back and forth with that. Yeah.
Sorry, our cat is. He's
really wants to
decided
learn.
he wants to be the center of.
What's his name?
Arlo.
Oh, hi, baby.
Sorry, we normally put them up, but I guess we did not do a good
We
job
did
of that.
not.
We just assumed that he would be taking his afternoon nap like the toddler he is, and he is not. He's very awake.
Yes.
One thing I did want to point out is some of the less competitive teams are a lot like the rebuild teams in the NHL. So, like, one of the teams that's currently doing a rebuild is the Montreal Canadiens. So what they did is they've brought in a lot of new fun players that have a lot of potential, but they're not very seasoned. And, you know, we've got a couple seasoned players, but it's mostly just we are building to, like, 3 years from now be very competitive.
Yeah.
And you see they have a really good, like, relationship amongst the team, and they have a lot of fun. And another example would be, like, the San Jose Sharks. Like, one of the announcers said that they were the most fun losing team because they're just having a great time and they're protecting their rookies and making sure that they feel comfortable playing and are having a good time and have that support. And that is very similar to a lot of the lower, like, non-super competitive teams like Kick Sauber, where they're really just there for vibes. They're building for their future. They're not necessarily competing. There's not a lot of pressure. It's just focused on, like, the fundamentals and learning how to be, hopefully, competitive in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you can see that parallel really well with the Williams team.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right? Now, James Val just went there, you know, what was it, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he even said at the beginning, I don't care about winning races. Like, I mean, they were in a Williams.
Yeah, we weren't doing anything.
They were.
Yeah, Williams had a recent poor history, unfortunately. And so when he stepped into that role, that was his whole idea. Like, let me rebuild. Let me pay attention to what's going on, find where all the issues are, and then start developing from there. So we've seen Williams slowly progress now back up into being a competitive team. They're pretty close to getting on these podiums. Like, I'm so excited.
It's been wonderful to see.
Which they're 5th in the championship.
Yeah.
And Red Bull's 4th. And just a couple years ago, Red Bull was dominating. So it just shows the difference.
Right. It really turns around. And obviously the same thing for Kick Sauber this year. Like you said, like, they have come back so strong. I am incredibly impressed with them. Obviously they had decent drivers before, but they didn't have the car development in place.
No, their car was trash.
Yeah.
Their car was garbage.
It was
God
nothing.
love them.
And Io over at Haas has turned that team around. I mean, years ago, they were just always 19th and 20th. So obviously they got better drivers. Sorry, Mazepin.
Not sorry.
Oh, God, I forget about him.
We all want to forget about him.
I will block him out. I'm just
God.
like, I can't hear you. All I see is Kevin getting a podium. Or didn't he? He got pole.
He got pole.
3 years ago. And then now Nico broke his curse. Thank God.
The smile on his face was so great.
I never thought I would be able to see that. Yes. It's just crazy to see how competitive all the drivers are, but you put them in a great car, they all can be champions. You put them in a terrible car, you're going to be competing for, like, P17. It just shows the importance of the car. Yeah. It's not all the driver.
Yeah. I think a good bit of it is the driver, but it is probably like 70% engineering, which is the craziest part to me.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. And there are there used to be huge differences, but one of the things that we have now is the cost cap.
Yes.
So that helps to narrow the field, as well as whoever the losing team is gets the most wind tunnel time. They get more time to develop their car. So they're trying to take, anything that's like this and, like, try and level out that field more. And so everybody's complaining, oh, I want more overtaking. Like, you can have more overtaking, but the margin of winning from the top guy to the last person is much smaller now than it was in years past.
I know.
Yes.
We got the cost cap, and, Alpine's had podiums, and Haas has had a
crazy
podium, and Kick Sauber is closing the gap, and Williams is really closing the gap, and it's more fun, because one of the big complaints everyone had 2 years ago was Max is winning everything. There's nothing exciting to see. It's just how big of a gap is he going to have? And it was, even as a Max fan, it was not very exciting.
It was boring.
Cost cap, and now, exactly. I'm like, he's 30 seconds ahead. I don't know. It's more watching to see who's in P2 and P3, and I think we should have an honorary P4 podium. But
like, it was boring because they used to comment on what was happening in the screens around the track because they were watching the race because they weren't having to do much.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was a low point.
We We've come a long way. I love it.
Yes.
Yes. So I have made kind of a list of some similarities and differences between the NHL and F1, just in like the organizations, but like what am I thinking of? The fan bases.
Oh.
So some similarities, and we kind of already talked about this. Both are pretty hard to break into. F1, though, is a much smaller pool. So obviously that is the hardest to break into.
Yeah.
But like NHL, there's so many people that play that just never make it to the NHL ever.
You've got a lot more, I think, possibly like potential hockey players.
Yes.
In F1, like you have to have started in karting.
You have to start at like 5.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So you had to start young, but karting is so expensive till you make it to those other series. And I know hockey is expensive too, like for sure. But you also have to be like near a racetrack.
Yeah.
Have to move somewhere. And there's all of that. A lot of that karting in those lower series happen only in Europe. So like Perez, when he was, I think 12 or 14, like moved to Europe to be able to compete at that level. And the same thing for Oscar. His dad brought him to boarding school and he was like, all right, I'm going to go back home.
Yeah.
Racing series.
Exactly.
So like there's fewer positions, but there's fewer also available drivers who have that potential.
And there's not, like in hockey, at least in colleges, like a lot of the colleges feed into the NHL. So you can have scholarships that help pay for you to develop as a hockey player. There is nothing in karting or Formula One.
Yeah.
It's just you're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, you're going to have to like call up people and ask for money and sponsorship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to get recognized by the right people to get even once you have that. So it's very political, which I'm sure hockey is too, in its ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I also said both sports are super petty.
Yes.
I think NHL is really petty on ice, but off the ice, they're like all best friends because it's a smaller group. Whereas F1, drivers probably off the track are way less petty, but teams are still super petty off the track.
Yeah, the team principals. You would never see. The only coaches you're going to see act like the Formula One team principals are like Tampa Bay and the Panthers. And like John Tortorelli when he's employed. Like, they just don't do that.
But also just like, one of my Roman empires is how the NHL was founded purely to like kick this other team owner out. They founded an entire new organization because they hated this one guy and didn't want him involved in it.
Hated Livingstone.
Eddie Livingstone, that was his name. So
Oh, wow. Wait, tell me the lore.
I think it was called the WHA or the WHL. It was one of them. There's this whole league. It was 5 teams, and this guy, Eddie Livingstone, owned 2 of them. But all of the other team owners hated this man. And they couldn't kick him out because he had a majority ownership. And so they all were like, we're going to take 2 weeks. We're going to start the season 2 weeks late. There's going to be a delay. Well, in that 2 weeks, they decided to just start their own league, the NHL, the same teams. And back then, the arenas had the ownership of the player contracts. So they leased out the Toronto team that Eddie Livingstone owned. They leased out the arena and the players and the equipment and the jerseys. They just didn't give him ownership of it.
And that's
So he's still making money, but
yeah.
So it was founded on pettiness. But
just for this one guy.
Yep.
this
Just
one dude.
one guy, and now
Yeah.
we have 32 teams.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. That's crazy. And that the like arenas used to own the players. That's like old school Hollywood.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
This was back in 1917.
Oh,
Very old school.
like
Very
way
old
far
school.
back. Okay.
Yes, way
Way
far back.
Way far back. Right. Got it.
Yeah, they're so friggin' petty. Some differences, not necessarily sport related, but the relationships in F1, like the driver relationships, are so publicized. It's like almost a PR move.
They
Oh.
become influencers
Yes.
if you weren't already.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some history to that too, you know?
Tell us the
Tell us.
history.
So, Bernie Ecclestone, I don't know if you know about him. So he used to run F1. You know, he was the head boss and he hated social media. He actually told teams to not post on social media, got after them if they did, and even told Lewis Hamilton to take a post down once. Like it's his own account. And he's like, no, I don't want any of this. And he said specifically, I want F1 to be for like old white men who have money to waste.
I'm shocked.
Right?
Crazy.
Sponsors like Rolex, and we're not doing social media. But then he ended up leaving, and Liberty Media ended up getting a lot of the broadcast rights. And that was their huge push. They're like, we want to open up F1 to a much bigger audience.
Yeah.
We don't have young fans, which we want because young fans also have money. And we want women because that's like half of the population.
Exactly.
Right, we could double our fans if we do
Exactly. If we just bring the women in.
bring them on. And they wanted North America. So they didn't have exposure here in North America, really. You know, we have IndyCar and NASCAR. And so that was the big kickoff. They told all the teams, they're like, okay, now you have to do social media. And they, you know, got in that deal with Netflix to do the Drive to Survive with Box Productions. And so from there, it's really exploded. So that was on purpose, as they wanted everybody on social. They wanted to have that like extreme, like these are celebrities. And now they get treated like they're movie stars. And I think it was Carlos Sainz who said, he's like, I don't know why. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a driver. Like,
Yeah.
I love him.
Me too.
Yeah.
It worked.
It's interesting seeing that like change from it's just about pure racing and money to now it's a sport for everybody. But with that
Yeah.
comes the downside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. Like, I saw, well, none of them are still dating the same person as they were when I got into it, but I saw the Wags and was like, I love you.
Yes.
Like, I will support your man because I love your style.
Yes.
I love your vibe.
Yeah. And like
So it worked.
Carmen Munt is
She's the only one that's
in
still around.
finance. And I'm in accounting and finance. So it's just like, I love you. Like anytime she posts about like her job or whatever, I'm like, oh, you're right.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how they are their own celebrities. And like
Yeah.
Lily and Alex, like,
Yeah.
the joke is that Alex is Lily's wag. And
Yeah.
that we love him for that.
That being said, though, there is like I don't know how any relationships last with that much pressure on them from social media, but the NHL is like the complete opposite.
Really?
Yes.
There's during playoffs, they do wag jackets. And they all have like custom wag jackets, and they've got the team and the number and sometimes the name and everything. And that is kind of how you find out who is in a relationship or not,
I
because
want a
they keep
jacket
it.
now.
I know, they're so cute.
They're so cute. Because they keep it so private, which is completely their right. And not all of them, but I would say probably 80% of them are super private on if they're dating someone. You find out like randomly someone's married and you have no idea.
They keep the media very narrow in their questioning. It is strictly performance and hockey related.
Yes.
It is not anything to do with their personal life.
They do.
I think that's probably for the best for the players.
Yes.
And there's been a lot of talk about how F1 drivers are overexposed to the media.
Yes.
And the fact that it can be like, you know, minutes before the race, they're walking onto the grid. And then there are also a ton of media and celebrities and fans also on the grid within touching distance of the car.
Crazy.
Is just like, imagine if the locker room was open to fans and media.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
Like it kind of is like, it's weird that there's so much pressure on them for every second they're not actually in the car.
Yeah.
And then IndyCar is like a soft medium between hockey. Like they will, like you can get the garage passes, you can go like meet the drivers and see the cars, but you're not going on the grid unless you're like the president. And they keep it very separate.
Yeah.
which I like.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, we went to the Netherlands a couple years back for the Formula One race, and it was just like, you were just like right there. And like the cars are just right there. Like there is no restriction on anything. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And there's just no real security. Like they have like one of their media people and that's it. That's the only thing standing between them and getting like mobbed essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why I understand why like those world champions do have personal security.
Oh, yeah.
There's people literally like crowding in on them, stepping in front of them. Like they could easily get tripped and bust up and like
Yes.
hurt a hand before the race. Like it is odd to me, even though I'm technically sort of in the media side of it. I do want the drivers to be protected and have that
Yes.
a little bubble of safety and focus before they get out on the track.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think they've done a good push with like the halos and all the safety changes they've made to the car, but they're still just not really protecting their drivers off the grid. And I would love to see that a little bit more.
Yeah.
We don't need all that access. Like Drive to Survive has exponentially grown the fan base. Like it's time to put some safety measures in place.
Yeah, and they have required media after their sessions.
Yeah.
And at that point, like, sure, you want the debrief, but maybe like the 30 minutes before they get in the car, at least we
Yes. Let's give them some space.
Yeah.
a little bit of space. I don't know if you guys saw the grid walk this morning, but Lawrence was, I think it was, he kept trying to like interview different drivers. They're like, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're not, they can't, like, they don't have the headspace to like deeply answer any questions. They're
Yeah.
like, I have to get to this building, and then I have to do this, and then I have to like, they're in that zone. So we're not going to get good answers from them anyway. Might as well leave them alone.
I know.
Yeah,
Exactly. Let's
I
just leave
agree.
it all for the post-game race or post-race interviews.
Yeah. Also, they're so PR trained that like they're not going to expose some big secret.
Except for Kimmy. Kimmy will.
Kimmy.
Will tell you the strategy. Accidentally. Won't even occur to him. He's confessing to crimes. Like,
And George, because when Bottas and, when George got the Mercedes contract and they were asking him in an interview, so George, are you going to Mercedes? And he's like, I can't say right now. Like he was smiling.
yes. He was trying so hard to be
Yeah.
subtle and he was doing a terrible job of it.
Yeah.
He really was. I'm like, nobody should have told you. Like,
Yeah. You should have been like a day before you found out
Yes.
situation.
yeah, you should have just not known. Let your agent handle it. And
It's like Tom Holland.
Yes. It's like telling Tom Holland a secret. Like, everyone's going to find out.
everybody. And my favorite though is Alex Albon in press interviews.
I love him.
He will just overshare. Like you ask him one question and he'll fully answer it and then also give you 3 other tidbits you didn't even think to ask.
Yes. He is one of my favorites.
The George Russell contract thing, that is another thing that's so different between the two sports. F1, they're so hush-hush about contracts. Just like how long they are, the amount of money. The NHL, that's all public knowledge.
Oh,
So
wow.
at any given point, you can go to Google, say, how long is Patrick Laine's contract? And it'll tell you the length and the amount of money he's getting made, how much he can make in bonuses. It's so public.
Oh, wow. Now let me ask you this. Are the contracts regulated? Like, are there rules around how much they're paid and all of that?
So the teams have a salary cap that they have to stay under. But player-wise, no, they can pay whatever they want for however long. Wayne Gretzky, well, granted, this was forever ago, but when he first came into the NHL, he had like a 20-year personal services contract to the owner of the team,
Wow.
which is what he played based off of. Like, it's
He's an
so
exception,
weird.
though. He's a huge exception.
Yeah, he is a huge exception to that, but
I mean, that's a name I actually know, so he must.
yes.
Yes. The great one.
So it used to be, they called it silly season because there used to be a much longer summer break.
Mhm.
And the British media, which is where, the kind of English speaking seat of racing in F1 is, the British media didn't have much else to report on. So they were like hyper reporting and speculating about all of
Yes.
the contract changes that were going on in F1. And that's why they called it silly season. But contracts actually get talked about and changed, as you guys know, all throughout the year. And it highly benefits them not to discuss it.
Mhm.
We we'll usually hear, oh, like after everything's confirmed and everybody has their seat, we'll know how long the contract is, but there will also be a ton of caveats within
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't always mean that if you have a 3-year contract, you're going to be there for 3 years. And there's, yeah, and how much they're getting paid, almost nobody knows.
You'll never
Yeah.
know.
That's a secret. I can tell you that the lowest paid F1 drivers are usually up to like around $1 million.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
got
but they're
like half a
still
million,
making a ton.
700,000, something like that. And then you've got like the Hamiltons and the Verstappens that are like 40, maybe up to 60 million, depending on all the options in their contracts. And then on top of that, they'll of course make advertising deals and sponsorship things on their
Mm-hmm.
own. But it's a huge, huge gap between, maybe somebody like Ollie Behrman, who's like brand new to the sport, and Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'll say it's different than Formula One that there, unless you are like one of the very big names in hockey, you're not really getting sponsorships. Like you are very much living off of your contract. Like Connor McDavid has that like water commercial or whatever electrolyte thing he does, but that's, I mean, you don't really see a lot of commercials that they do. Do you disagree?
It's less about like commercials and more about gear. So like they'll get a Bauer sponsorship and they'll only use Bauer gear, or they'll get, I can't think of any other brand, but
Yeah.
it's mainly based off of your gear.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so in F1 they have, and it's very different for different drivers, but the teams have all these logos, right?
Yes.
And it's in the contract that so like Ferrari is going to Ray-Ban and they say, okay, our drivers will only wear Ray-Bans
Yeah.
and the Ray-Ban logo will be on everything. So that means that those drivers now can't have their own sunglass endorsement. And that creates a lot of tricky things. So like Charles Leclerc wanted to do sort of his own merch line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he had signed his contract with Ferrari, they had him under contract to only wear their merch and their sponsors' merch. Hamilton came in already having his own plus 44 line.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to work and negotiate with them so that he could still wear his stuff when he was doing non-official press. So that's why he has like those sort of bigger entrances into the paddock, and he has those documented by his own photography team because that's like his own sort of brand. But he's allowed to get like a suitcase sponsor because Ferrari doesn't have a suitcase sponsor.
Yes.
So there's like all these little tricky things like that. Like the more power you have, the more options you have. But because I don't know with your teams, like you don't have a million business logos on the jerseys,
No.
right? Like,
They'll have a couple sponsors, like the Capitals are sponsored by TikTok and stuff, but it's not like Ferrari or Mercedes where like George is only wearing like Tommy Hilfiger for like
Yeah.
years
For the
for the
Right.
sponsorship. It's very much up to the individuals to find their sponsorships.
Yes.
Other than their contracts, of course.
Yeah. And if a player has a sponsorship for like Matthew Kachuk has a Great Clips sponsorship, the team doesn't benefit from that. It's only between him and the company, which I like, because I feel like in F1 they'll sometimes sign a driver because he'll have a certain
Like Checo.
a certain company backing him,
yes,
and the team benefits.
that's a huge part of why Yuki's had such a great success.
Yes.
Not to say anything against his driving skills.
No.
There are many talented drivers. And so if let's say all of these drivers are within, a tenth of each other in terms of performance, the ones that have more sponsors are the ones that are going to get the seats.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
So yeah, absolutely. That
Unless
is
you're
a
Lance
huge
Stroll.
part of it because you've only got 20 seats. The team needs money. And if a company says like, okay, we'll work with you if you use this driver. I mean, that's how Mazepin got his seat as well.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how Lance Stroll started out.
Yeah.
And Checo and all the others, rest in peace, are no longer with us on the grid.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll get a lot of that. I think Daniel Ricciardo's big sponsor was like Foster's
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
beer. They were really, giving whatever team he went with a bunch of money. So that made him more attractive. Obviously, like I said, he still had skills. But when you look at drivers with similar skills, that will give you the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. absolutely. I don't know if you know, the NHL has like a docuseries as well. They've only done one season.
Is it on Prime? Because somebody just told me.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was produced by the same people that did Drive to Survive.
Oh, really?
But they're very different in what they chose to focus on, which is fascinating to me because the F1, they wanted to bring in more fans. They wanted to cause drama. They wanted to have a stir. And so they very much kind of
Faked rivalries and brought in the wags.
manipulated some stuff. And that got the fans for sure. But I think it's funny because F1 fans a lot of the times dislike Drive to Survive.
Oh, I haven't watched it. I've like watched the first season and then none of the rest.
Miserable. I don't even think we watched the last season because I was like, I can't.
I
can't
can't
do this anymore.
Yes, but new fans love it, and it's a great way to get new fans hooked.
Yeah.
And I think the NHL kind of wanted to replicate that with them having a docuseries that followed the playoffs the season before last. But they very much focused strictly on the games that were happening, what was going on with the team. Like, it was very straightforward, and there wasn't any added drama as far as I'm aware, at least. And
No.
And
The only thing they really talked about that was the least bit personal was Pasternak's dad passing.
his daughter.
And his daughter.
But the hockey fans loved it, but it didn't generate any new fans necessarily.
Except for me.
Yeah.
I know, because Drive to Survive is kind of like the clickbait of F1.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Like it's all this sensationalized type of media. And I really found it frustrating because they weren't following the race.
Yes.
Wait, you didn't, that's not, no, that's, so I get why it's like disliked by F1 fans. And at the same time, it's very entertaining, like you said. But I think that would be really interesting, at least for me to see, because I enjoy that more documentary style
Yeah.
of thing. But they would have to have, the NHL and the players would have had to have agreed to have given so much more access because how much of Drive to Survive is not even filmed on the track?
A lot.
Yeah,
They show, like,
this
the
is Daniel
same
Ricciardo
part of
playing
one race.
basketball and monologuing about things with his coach. Like a lot of time it's them and their coach or them and another player. It's these like staged situations, very reality TV show. So if Amazon and that production company didn't have the access to the players and they didn't want to open them up to all of that, then it's kind of like just watching a hockey summary almost.
I also feel like, and this has just come to me, hockey players are super blunt. Like they are not PR trained to the level the F1 drivers are. And they will call you out in the most brutal way and set their record straight no matter what. So I feel like they couldn't really try to make up this drama because these players would be like, that didn't happen.
Just straight up, it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Their
like, come on.
approach for season 2, it seems like, was not to like go into the dramatization, but to just add more players. So we're covering more teams, which will be helpful. But I'm curious to see if they're going to add some drama or if they're going to keep it strictly hockey.
Yeah, moving forward.
I don't think it comes out until what?
I think it's going to come out. Season 2 is going to come out, August, September.
Yeah.
But they only follow the playoffs as well. So it's only like a smaller group of teams, which is easier to digest because there's 32 teams, and that would be way too much.
Yeah. And so how many games do you have before the playoffs?
So they play 82 games.
Jesus.
Each team plays 82 games.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So they play like 2, 3, 4 games a week, depending on how the schedule falls. So it's a lot.
Insane. That's so much.
And they're actually adding more. So I think it's going up to 86 games this season.
84.
84. So they're adding 2 more.
Is this because you've added new teams? Or
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
We're not really sure why they're adding 2. It's a very interesting number.
But an interesting thing about the NHL so F1 has like the Drivers Association, but they don't really have much input on, how many races they have on a calendar. Like, they don't have much input in that, but the NHL Players Association has to negotiate with the NHL every few years and agree to how many games are we going to play this season, what's the travel schedule going to look like how extreme is this actually going to become. And they have a lot of input on it, which is, they've earned it because they used to barely get paid anything and it was so bad. There's been multiple strikes. So
So it's kind of like the WNBA. Like they had to
Yeah.
really put forth a lot of effort into negotiating that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I will say F1 drivers definitely want more bargaining power,
Yeah.
own rights and health and all of that. But it is so difficult when there's only 20 of you
Mm-hmm.
and you've got billionaires you're going up against.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the NHL has plenty of, billionaire owners and everything too, but it's like 20 of drivers against 20 team owners. Like that's what you're looking at. And it's just, if you say a little too much or you don't have enough support on it, now you're the troublesome one and you're at risk.
Yes.
And they'll just replace you.
They will immediately. And that
Easily.
used to be a big problem in, I'll say, earlier F1 days. There was a lot of, oh, I'm going to tell you to do this.
Yeah.
And even if it's illegal, and you are going to do it or you're fired.
Yeah.
I think while a lot of people are upset that we no longer have like pure racing, we have what I think is more fair racing and more fair driver, contracts and protections. But there's still a long ways to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I have a couple. We had a lot of people reach out and ask if I'm a new fan and I'm wanting to get into F1, but I don't necessarily need to know all the logistics yet. What are some good resources? Obviously, your account is really good for explaining things very simple to a new fan. But I wanted to know if you had any creators, YouTube channels, or anything that you can think of.
Yeah. So, one, if you're into podcasts like you guys, the Paddock Project. So that's run by Tiggy Valen. She's an amazing commentator and really breaks down sort of the F1 drama and like how the sport works in a more simple way. Her earlier season, she was doing it with friends, and now it's herself, and she's great. So I would highly recommend you follow her. Really sort of like chill, laid back vibes and nothing like too fast. So you feel like you're getting lost in the, sort of references, which I feel like is a difficult thing. But then I really like the YouTube series. Obviously the F1, their channel, they have a lot of basic explainers, but I also like F1 Unchained. He does some great, like, this is what you need to be looking forward to, and here are all the car upgrades so you can kind of understand why a driver might be doing better that weekend. Because I feel like that's something that's a surprise every week. If your hockey team is doing well and they do well again and they do well, or if they don't do well, it's, oh, this player, the top player was injured. Like you have some reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a lot of fans, it's very confusing to watch an F1 race. Like, wait, why, why did Kick
Yes.
Sauber jump from 18th to third? Like, how did they do that? And it's like, oh, if you watch this, 5-minute video earlier in the week, they brought a ton of new upgrades to the car.
Mm-hmm.
So those are two like really big resources for me. Obviously, I also follow Ruth Buscom on Instagram. So she was a former engineer at both Alfa Romeo and Ferrari.
Love.
And she's so great. And she does a lot of one of the F1 TV presenting as well. But on her account, she does a lot of breakdowns and explains things as well. So I have always found that a great resource. And also Elizabeth Blackstock, she is the US editor for planetf1.com.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. She's such a sweetheart. She wrote this book too. So I just have a bunch of like different women I'm following. And one of her
I love
things
it.
is she's great for like giving context and history to things as well. So it's not just suddenly a race. But yeah, that and I just read a lot of articles. I didn't actually have I wasn't following anybody on my Instagram until I started this account. So like on my personal account, it's like all cats and dogs.
Me.
Like,
So,
yeah, a lot of like random things like that. And then I started this account and I just found so many amazing creators. And I was thinking about doing a roundup post. So I'll have to reference you guys when I do one of those because I think I'm following near 1,000 people right now.
oh, wow.
A little bit much.
Yeah. We also, when we first started getting into F1, we both enjoy knowing the history of the teams and stuff. And there's this podcast that's a bit outdated now, but it's Choosing Sides F1. And they went into the team histories of everything and like Spygate with McLaren. And they went into all of that.
Yeah.
That I think was very helpful. Just in understanding like the team dynamics.
Yeah,
too.
they did like 10 episodes, and then they had one of them was educating, the other one on everything, and then at the very end he had to choose like his team and his driver.
He like choose decide.
Oh,
But I think they ended up
love
doing
that.
like a second season. I don't know, but their first season was great.
Brings you into the drama and everything. Yes, absolutely. I gotta check that one out.
Yeah, it's a few years old. There's some teams
Yeah.
in there that don't exist anymore, but and then we also listen to a Track Talk podcast.
Yes.
It's two girls, Emma and Hannah. They mainly talk about IndyCar now, but their earlier episodes were really good. Just like I find it's easier to learn when I'm just like listening to what happened that week and like girl talk kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It just like you naturally learn more about it. So that was a really good one. And then Christina Fast Cars. She does like not race recaps, but she does the bullet, and she talks about the track and what has changed in the track from last season to this season and who did well last season. She's really good too. I love the way she enunciates.
It's just really nice to see so many women in motorsports. Like, it was
Yes.
not like that when we started getting into Formula One, and now we have all these resources, and
Yeah.
it's just wonderful to see.
Yes.
Yeah, there really is like an incredible community, and like there are of course haters out there who are just, that's going to happen anyway if you put yourself online, like no matter what fandom. But I have personally found this to be an incredibly welcoming space, a lot
Yes.
of fans just all excited for the same reasons.
Yes. Yes, I love it. And then last but not least, I have gone through all of the F1 teams, and I've given them a team equivalent from the NHL.
Oh, I was going to ask you about this. Okay, great.
Okay, so this is in championship order. So McLaren, first and foremost, I have listed as the Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay.
They have a bunch of young players that the organization loves like wholeheartedly and wants to build their organization around. They're consistent and good, and they don't have a ton of drama. They're unproblematic, which McLaren's gotten a bit more problematic, but it's fine. And the fans love them and show up and show out.
And they have a very charismatic coach, which,
They do.
love him or hate him, Zach Brown is very present and very charismatic.
Yes.
Yes, he is. And to me, he is even though technically Haas is an American team, which and for the Carolinas, I always think of like Zach as the true American representative in F1, right? Like
I
if you want to
agree.
cheer for an American, it's Zach's the guy, like showing up on the TV screen.
Yeah.
Which apparently in this last season of Drive to Survive, there was a hockey player on there, Anze Kopitar, like out grilling. He was Zach Brown's friend, not the two-time Stanley Cup champion, Zach
no.
Brown's friend.
Yep. Just a very casual flag.
You had a good laugh with. They're like, how did they not caption that? And it's just Zach's friend.
They were like, do you know that guy?
Do you know who he is?
How do you spell his name?
Why is he here? Hockey? Never mind.
They're like, no. That's not our documentary.
Which Mick Schumacher there's a lot of crossover between hockey and F1. Mick Schumacher was at a Dallas game this past season.
Lando Norris has been to a bunch of the Kings games.
Well, Daniel Ricciardo's been to a bunch of Kings games. Valtteri Bottas has been to like the Canadians. the LA Kings. What else? He's been to like 8 different teams. He loves whoever invites him.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of crossover that I don't think people realize.
It feels very worlds colliding when you see
does.
like a mic'd up video about Mick Schumacher at a Dallas Stars game. You're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing in Texas?
Yeah.
When did you get here?
Like, I'm sorry.
How did you know about hockey? Who told you?
Yes.
Well, now you're gonna have all the European hockey fans mad.
I know. It's always something.
That's my bad. Ferrari, I have listed them as the Toronto Maple Leafs. Historically a great team. They have incredible talent and a rich history, but they have trouble piecing it all together consistently.
Yes.
They have a super loyal fan base that is very outspoken.
Yeah. If they don't like a certain player, they will run him out of town.
Yes.
They just did it with Mitch Marner,
Yeah.
who is an incredible player.
Yeah.
So the fans really feel like ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They feel a lot of ownership about their team.
That fan base is like the closest to the Tifosi, I think, in the NHL.
I agree.
Yeah, because the Tifosi are there for Ferrari
Mm-hmm.
team, which is almost an old idea now. I think they said F1 and motorsport.com just did a huge survey and they found instead of fans being fans of drivers from their country or from their team, they're now looking at being fans of drivers who they share values with.
Yes.
And so it's a totally different level of connection. So I don't know if we're going to see that. I don't know if we're going to see changes in the Tifosi. Now, of course,
Yeah.
if you go to Italy though, and if you go to Monza, like and grow up in that, that's going to be your favorite team because it's so like culturally part of it. But I think with adding so many North American races, we've got a lot of North American fans now that are like, well, I don't have an American driver, and Haas doesn't really count as an American team. I mean, sort of. So we've just been sort of picking who we like, which is
Yes.
right. It's like really different. So it'll be interesting to see if Cadillac changes that as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm quite curious.
I'm very excited for Cadillac, personally.
I know.
And for anybody who's looking to get into F1 like next year, I know that they're shooting a documentary with Keanu Reeves leading the storytelling on the building of the Cadillac team.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Love Keanu Reeves, so I will be tuning in. Love that man. That's my American team.
That's right. That'll get you excited about Cadillac. Not.
Okay. Mercedes, I've listed as the Colorado Avalanche.
That's you.
Congrats.
Lewis Hamilton.
I'll take it. I've got a Mercedes car somewhere behind me.
They're a class act and they develop their drivers and have a lot of loyalty to the people within their organization.
I like that. I like that. And like you said, like Lewis Hamilton's a part owner too. So yeah, I have no reason to not pick them as my team.
It was just meant to be.
Yeah.
So Red Bull, and Lauren and I go back and forth on this one, but I said Red Bull is the New York Rangers. They're seen as the bad boys a little bit or a lot of it. People either love them or hate them, and they tend to blame like newer drivers or players instead of management. And they kind of look past what the real issue is. They don't know how to, or they just choose not to develop young drivers or players.
Okay. Yeah, that comparison makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are very hated. You are either a Rangers fan or you hate them. There is not an in-between, as we have found out.
Yes. We have found that out.
Oh, that's interesting. And now that they might change their reputation a little bit though, because now that they have Mekis as the new team principal,
Yes.
so he has now added some, not all, some of the upgrades to Yuki's car that Horner never put on his car. And we immediately see Yuki get into his highest qualifying position that he's had since joining Red Bull.
Yeah.
So hopefully that change will sort of push its way into more of the Red Bull, team management.
Politics,
And
yeah.
just like, see what he can do. And then
Yes.
maybe Alpine will become the #1 bad boys in the sport.
Oh Lord, God bless him. Yeah,
Oh, goodness.
I'm very excited about him.
Not
I
about
was
the
very
drivers,
excited
of
about
course.
Christian
Not
Horner
about the
getting out.
drivers, but their management and everything. Yeah.
Oh, their
Yes.
management is they're next. They gotta go.
Yeah. Good management, though, on the other hand, Williams, I've
Yeah.
listed as the Montreal Canadiens. The vibes are immaculate. They are in, yes, they are in a rebuild, but proving to be ahead of schedule. They're competitive, and they can be forgotten about at times, but they are slowly coming back into their own. I love to see them succeed, and I feel like most people love to see them succeed.
And they've got 2 very loved drivers.
Yeah.
Which the
Williams
Canadians have a
does.
lot of very lovable young players.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah. And the management seems like it's good and great vibes. I mean,
Yes.
that's 100% James Vowles.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it
love
is.
James
100% love him.
He's just my favorite nerd ever.
Yes.
I know, he is my favorite nerd.
Kick Sauber is
Yeah.
the Utah Mammoths, which I forget that they're called Utah Mammoths now. They just changed their name. Good for PR. They changed names frequently.
So very similar.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, what do we call you guys this year? Come on. And then, oh, you're changing your name again next year? Like,
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
I just got used to calling it Utah Hockey Club, and now it's Utah Mammoths.
yeah. Yeah, we have Alfa Romero, Kick Sauber, Audi, like, all right, whatever you want to be.
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
like, whatever you want, that's fine. I'll learn it eventually.
Speaking of changing names, the Racing Bulls.
Oh gosh, right.
Visa Cash App Red Bull Racing.
What a mouthful.
I put them as the San Jose Sharks. So they are kind of there for vibes and PR as well. They've got some exciting young guys, but nobody necessarily has the expectations that they're going to come in and win it all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very similar vibes then.
Yes. So it's less of a big deal when they don't win, period.
Well, their 2 drivers are young. I mean, Liam's not young, but like young to Formula 1.
Yeah, their careers.
And then you've got like Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini are basically the future of the Sharks, and they are just 2 little babies. One's like 18 and one's like 20.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So they're very similar. And that is unusual in F1, which is not how the season started, but to see 2 young drivers on the same team.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it's not rare, but it's not the ideal
Yeah,
setup
it's not
that-
the normal pairing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets very expensive if they're not good at keeping the car
But I will
on
say their
track.
social media is great. They're doing a
Yes.
great job on that end.
Yes.
They are,
I think
yeah.
both the Racing Bulls and the Sharks have top tier social media.
They do. What they don't do in points or with losing games, they make up for in their social media.
Yes.
Yeah, you can win Miss Congeniality, right? They can
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The people's princess.
Yes. Aston Martin, I've listed as the Washington Capitals for no other reason than I think that Fernando Alonso would like the Washington Capitals. And I think if he was going to play hockey, he would play hockey like this one guy, Tom Wilson, on the team plays.
Well, the Capitals have he is now the highest points scorer in the league history, but Ovechkin
Yes.
is relative to hockey, he is significantly older than anyone else on that team, or typically past like the prime of hockey, and he just broke Wayne Gretzky's record like last season.
Yeah.
And then you've got Fernando, who's the forever rookie. He's 40 years old, and he still is just as competitive as the like 18 and 20-year-olds. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is. He even said in a press conference recently that the cars are actually a lot smoother to drive now, even with the porpoising. It's a lot less rough on the body, right? Yeah, I think it was like 2021, 2022. It was
Yes.
like,
Oh my gosh. You
Oh
show
my
like the
God.
car camera, and you just be like, how in the world are you driving?
I think minus those years, I think it was Leclerc or Sainz porposing, or
Yeah, that sounds about right.
but he said like the cars today at least are a smoother ride than they were when he started.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why he's been able to stay in the sport for so long. That and he's just, a master. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Him and Lewis just defying the age laws. I don't know how they're doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, just like, but it's so funny that I don't know if you saw the F1 movie, but I think like Brad Pitt was playing a guy 16 years older than him, and I'm just like,
Ooh. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Fernando. Like 60,
Yeah.
still at a team, number one
Absolutely.
driver,
Yes, for sure.
just teaching the kids.
he'd retire and come back. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He'll do it at least once more, I think.
I think so
before
too.
he officially retires.
yeah, he totally could. Some drivers are interested in a lot. I think Carlos Sainz is one of those thinking drivers.
Yes.
He's very into the strategy of what's going on. I love that about him. He's one of those like nerds. Like I'm just like, yay.
He's fascinating.
But then you have like Alonso, who, while of course, obviously he's strategic, he is just sort of that old school, pure racing, feeling the track. It's
Yeah.
slightly different takes on the sport between the two of them.
It definitely shows the different generations
For
racing,
sure.
which I love to see.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Alonso and Hamilton are known for not being huge sim racers.
Yes.
And that might be where Lando and Max are finding an advantage.
Mm.
Is that they are spending tons of time
So
in the
much.
sim rigs.
Yes.
And in the simulations that might be giving them a slight edge, whereas Lewis has said, he really likes the feel of the track, so he can respond to it. And you don't get that fully in those sim rigs, I guess. And he just finds them very frustrating because it's not a real race. He just wants to be racing. And
Yeah.
Alonso wants to be racing. Like they're like,
Yes.
just put me in the car. Like Hamilton hates practice. He's like, no. Like this is no fun. Like I would race.
What's the point?
Yeah.
So yeah, that generational divide, I think, is going to keep showing up as we get further and further into the years.
Yes.
For sure.
I agree.
Haas, I have listed as the New York Islanders. I don't really pay much attention to either because there's never really much going on. Also, I miss Gunther Steiner.
He was the real character of that team,
He
wasn't
was.
he?
Yes.
He was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gunter is a real, I mean, forget the drivers. He was the star of that team. But Io's been able to make that team into something competitive. And I
That's
think
true.
they're going to have to like start paying attention. And also now they've got, Ollie Behrman. Everybody's
Yeah,
excited
I do
about
love
the
Ollie.
rookies, right? Like, so I think hopefully they're turning it around. But that's so funny because I've never heard of the Islanders.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. They don't do anything.
Yes. Yeah. I think they just drafted a new kid who's gonna be pretty good, at least for PR. At least like he's gonna draw in attention regardless of how good they do. So hopefully that'll turn back around for them as well. Also, Gunther Steiner went to a Florida Panthers game.
He did, which is on track for them.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay. The last team, I have Alpine as the Chicago Blackhawks.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh.
They put a lot of pressure on them, and the team doesn't really help out at all. So there's this kid on the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Bedard, who's in his second or third season.
Third. This will
Third.
be his third.
And they kind of brought him in and were like, you're going to be our saving grace, but didn't give him any other players to help him out necessarily. And then they're kind of like, why do you suck? Why are we losing? And it's like, he's 18. What do you mean?
There's no one to like train him really or help him grow. Or if they are trying, they're doing a terrible job at it.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch.
And
Just like Alpine at times.
Yeah, they're definitely all demands.
Yes.
Yeah.
All demands, no support.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just leave it be. But there's a whole mess at Alpine happening. So
Yeah.
There frequently is.
for drivers, like to not have the constant support, but to have the constant pressure
Yes.
It can.
messes with the mental game that you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I fully agree.
No, I will say they were insane to do the French Civil War.
to have Esteban Ocon
That was
and
one
Pierre
of-
Gasly.
That was one of the craziest things I have ever seen.
Right.
And then to get so like obviously surprised when it didn't go very well,
Yeah.
especially with how the team appears to be managed. I was like, we never stood a chance.
Yeah.
No, I think, and those two have been competitors forever. Like,
Ever.
who thought that was a good idea? I'm curious if it was all just down to like sponsorship and they wanted, French team to have French drivers or something, but
I think that's what it was.
that was not gonna be a good idea.
No, it would have been. They just picked two drivers that have been pinned against each other their entire careers, like since karting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was very Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg,
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
talent reborn and, but French now.
But French.
Yeah.
A little Leclerc and Verstappen, but those two weren't always so close the way.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, lots of rivalries in both sports, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your like this team always 100% hates this team, like in the fans in hockey? Because that's what I'm curious about.
The New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers,
The battle for New York.
they hate each other. They're so close. And same with the Islanders. If the Islanders were good, those three arenas are closer to each other than any other arenas are close. They're just pinned against each other. The Islanders just suck. So like it hasn't been as deep. But
The Battle of Alberta.
the Battle of Alberta's big too. That's
The Senators.
you say it. I can't. You can speak.
Who is it? It's the Senators and the Canadians loathe each other.
That's
They've
true.
got like 100 years worth of problems with each other
That
because
is
they
true.
are original six teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same with the Maple Leafs. Pretty much all of the original six teams hate each other.
Yeah.
The Battle of Florida, which is Tampa Bay and the Panthers, they are extremely physical. They hate each other. So much so that the coaches like very openly got it, not very openly, but like very petty with each other in the media when they have
Yeah.
to play. That's about it.
But yeah,
Any of the original six.
any of the original six for sure.
Okay. Who is my biggest? If I'm going with the Avs, who's there? Like,
Ooh, I don't really know. I feel like the
that means I
Avs.
didn't miss a memo that I was supposed to get.
Probably the Panthers, just because they kept them from getting back-to-back Stanley Cups, and then now they are repeat champions again.
Yeah, and also I feel like Colorado plays pretty clean.
Yes.
I think where a bunch of these rivalries come from is the Panthers are a pretty aggressive team. The Rangers are a dirty team. Like there's one team that has wronged someone and it's just carried on for generations. But the Avs have been pretty consistently a clean, just hardworking team, and there's a lot of respect.
I
Okay.
would say another one of the very big rivalries. I said the Battle of Alberta, and then I got sidetracked
Yeah, you
into the
did.
Big Six. But the Battle of Alberta is the Flames, which in recent history, they have been quite bad.
Yes.
And then the Oilers, who have a generational talent in Connor McDavid. And they have a very storied history of hating each other.
Yeah.
Which, now that the Oilers have been so good, I mean, they've fumbled the last two Stanley Cup playoffs, but historically they're very good, and the Flames are significantly less good. I think they're also closer to each other, but they are a very big rivalry.
Yeah. I think within all of the Canadian teams, there's a rivalry because
Even
there's
like the Senators and the Canucks, and they're on two different sides of Canada. They
Yeah.
hate each other.
which there's 6 Canadian teams and I can't do the mental math. The rest of them are American
Was it
teams.
like 26 others?
26 other teams are American. So it's a smaller group and there's just like that battle regardless.
Right, which is the best Canadian team?
Yes.
Like, which one is best out of our personal teams?
Yeah.
Exactly. 'Cause at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, it's which is the best Canadian team, and then which is the best overall.
Like who won the cup and who's the best Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very, even though the Panthers have won the last two, it still is very much like the Oilers are
The best Canadian
team
Yes.
in the playoffs the last couple years, even though they lost.
Even though they lost, they're the best. Yeah.
Yes, they're the best.
Yeah.
I've heard sentiments like that across F1 as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, even though we lost, we are the best. Yeah. And that is so funny. It's like, oh, well, we won the constructors. Oh, well, we won the drivers' championship. So it continues the argument because unless you win both, and then unless you agree, I'm sure that happens in hockey, with every call made
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
by the refs, we have the FIA. It's something that can certainly be debated for a long time. Like, we don't talk about 2021. We just don't.
No.
Nope.
We actually, that doesn't exist. That season was forgotten about.
Yeah, we just, I get a lot of questions about it. Oh, can you please explain it? 2021? No.
It
I
hurts.
can't.
It
I can't
hurts
explain
too
it.
much.
It didn't make any sense. Let's not speak about
Anything
it.
I say is going to be,
I know.
a blaming sort of statement, even if I'm trying to be very neutral. So I'm like, and I've seen so many other creators say the same thing, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do not. We will frequently reference it, or not frequently, but we have referenced it several times in our podcast, and people are like, what is the history? And I'm like, I'm not. You're going to have to Google that one. I'm not getting into that. I'm not doing it.
This is called trauma bonding.
Yes.
Yes.
You either went through it or you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Count yourself lucky if you weren't a fan back then.
Mm-hmm. If you tuned in from 2022 on, congratulations.
Yep, you
don't
win.
know.
You're great. Don't look behind you.
Yeah,
Don't
we don't.
look.
The history doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
Forever forward.
Exactly.
Keep pushing.
Well, did you have any other NHL related questions for us?
I don't think I did. I'm curious, if there's anybody out there who's a hockey fan and like genuinely doesn't know anything about F1, I will say one thing you need to know is that there are a lot more restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I get a lot of questions about. So let me just say, like, every car has to do a pit stop.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know, well, why are they doing that if it wastes time? It's in the rules. And they have to change tires, so they have to use at least 2 different what we call compounds.
Mm-hmm.
Soft tires that are the fastest, but hard tires that last the longest with the most grip, and medium is in between. And they're also, what most people don't know is there's a whole level of strategy for the weekend around tires because they're only given 13 sets of tires or 12 sets depending on the weekend. And that includes practice and qualifying and the race. And he's like, well, why didn't they put max on hards, for that one race that we had? I think it was 2 races ago. And it was because they didn't have parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had already run out of them. So imagine like going into a hockey week. So you've got like 2 or 3 games and the player only has 5 hockey sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
Yeah.
they have to choose, okay, do I hit it as hard as possible during practice, or do I maybe hold back a little bit?
Yeah.
Or
That's
do
a
I know
great
I'm
analogy.
playing a tougher team later in the week, so I want to save 2 sticks for that? And that means I only have 3 for the other 2 games. So when you're hearing commentators talk about all the different tire choices and pit stop choices, that's why they're discussing it, because it has huge importance on the actual race. So I know a lot of people get confused. They're like, I think you just go around and the top guy wins. Like,
Yeah.
bit more
There's a whole strategy into when to do your pit stop and like if it's gonna rain and all of that. There's a lot that goes into it.
There's a lot. And the top 10 guys get points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say. Just to let anybody know who's new to F1, those are your key factors. You can now watch a race and understand a little bit more like the relevance of why we're comparing things or talking about those kinds of things.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think, too, if you're getting into F1 and you're like, I'm never going to learn all of this, probably not, because we've been watching Formula One for years now. And even in today's race, I didn't realize the second you put on inners or wet tires, you don't have to do the 2 different compounds.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to do a pit stop change, period, if you put on wet tires.
And I didn't know that until 2 days. So
We learn new things every day.
It's a constant, and the rules change, and so you're constantly going to be learning.
Absolutely. Yeah. And those inners, so the intermediates, the not quite fully wets, they get worn down into slicks. I don't know if you saw the tires come off. And then actually, if you want to start watching F1 now, just to sort of get the vibes for it, I highly recommend it because in 2026, we're getting all new car regulations.
I can't wait.
So everybody's going to be learning at the same time. So if you don't know everything now, that's fine. There's going to be a lot of changes coming.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy actually. Like
It's going to be insane.
I love how
I'm
often
so
they
excited.
change the regulations. It's
Me
like
too.
just on time for like one team to be superior, and then no, you're not.
yes, that's exactly why
Love
they're
it.
doing it.
Yes.
You love it.
I love it.
I'm loving it. But yeah, if anybody has any more F1 questions, there's like a really good chance that I'll answer anything that somebody asks me. So no, I'm here for any new fans, and thank you guys for like kind of making those comparisons for me for hockey because that's a lot of fun. I'm in Colorado now. I'm trying to learn and appreciate the context.
Yes.
You're in a good team, a good, fair playing team.
Everybody loves the Avs.
Everybody does love the Avs.
But thank you for coming on and giving like some of the F1 insight into it all as well. Because we've had pretty much the entire time that we've had this podcast, we've had people asking to compare the two. So this was much requested.
Oh, okay, great. I love that so many people are getting into both sports.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like streaming has really opened up a lot more options for
Yes, I
people
agree.
as well because you don't have to watch it live.
Yes.
That was a big holdup for F1. I mean, I woke up at like 6 a.m. this morning for the
Yes.
race. I mean, when they race over in China and it's at 3 a.m. No, I will watch the replay later. I am not. You send me there, I'll wake up. But from my home, from the comfort of my bed, I can't do that.
Yes.
Yeah. We are very grateful that you took the time to come join us.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. This is so much. I mean, this is what I love. And that's why, I started the, whole page because I can't stop talking about it. So
Me too. That's why we started this. So. Well, and if you ever do have any more hockey questions, feel free to reach out. We are happy to answer.
Yes.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
Yes. Have a great rest of the day.
oh, you guys are so sweet. Bye. Thank you.
All right, well, that was our little chat with Sarah on the grid.
Yes.
If you have any Formula One questions, go hit her up. She's on Instagram, TikTok, email.
Yes.
And then if you have any hockey-related questions, obviously, that's what we're here for. But until next episode, we'll see you. Bye.